Alright, so we're back into another Dragon Ball Super card game video. Finally got some time to make another video, basically. And in this video, I'm going to go through basically the event in summary, and both events, the Tournament Power and as well as the Level Up Las Vegas event, and as well as our boy Jon's deck profile that won the entire Level Up Regional. No, I don't have the top 16 decks, or at least the deck list for Tournament Power. I'm sure Dalen and as well as Marcus are working on that, and I'm sure that we're gonna get those eventually. But for now, let's go ahead and talk about a few things. The first thing is how was commentating again, and as well as the events. So one, I played in the Friday event with Tricolor Cooler, and it went okay. I went X3. I don't think I did as well as I thought. I played 3 Gohan and 3 Piccolo Surge. Ended up losing to, I do believe, oh, John Bradley, shout out to him. I bricked super hard against this Jiren. It's supposed to be a pretty good matchup, but kind of shrug, right? It just happens. And then the last one was against Jordan Beard in this Surge Coup, which thankfully, that's a pretty good matchup for me. I think overall, that event was okay. I didn't get any championship packs or anything else. I think it could have been a lot shorter because by the time that we were actually out of the venue, it was like 11:30 or something like that, and it was just you know, overall. But I'm very happy that everybody on our team got an invite. I'm very happy that John won the entire event, and Hayden went pretty much undefeated over the course of the entire weekend. Mr. Eggman on the left there, and that I'm just very happy that we all got together from all parts of the world and as well as the states to perform, to hang out, and just to have a good time. As far as the Tournament Power, I played the same thing. For both events, I think I was rushed. Originally, I was going to play Gohan, but I just didn't want to play the mirror, as well as I didn't think it had a good best of 3 sort of, I don't know, viability, I guess. And I think I was more confident in Gohan than I was in Cooler, and I didn't have the time to build out Piccolo for Tournament Power. So eventually I went ahead and dropped that event after a couple losses, and I believe a tie. There was an unfortunate team kill with Brandon for game 1, and then I went against Piccolo Surge again, and that was just bad because I couldn't get anything to stick. Plus it was about to go into time, and I was just like, you know what, whatever. I believe that was against Daniel from PvE. And at the end of it, I was just like, you know, I really want to commentate. I didn't really want to play. I wasn't feeling it, and I didn't feel good, right? And I think that's a huge factor when it comes to these type of things. If you don't understand, you know, fatigue, if you don't understand, basically just the mood that you're in. I wasn't very confident going into Saturday, and as well as just Tournament Power in general. So I went ahead and enjoyed myself. Went ahead and enjoyed Level Up. I had some awesome times with there, and as well as got to hang out with a lot of people, took some pictures and all this other stuff. So I'm very happy and very fortunate that I was able to do that. And then come Sunday, I commentated top 16 with Pat O'Neill, the fabulous Pat O'Neill, and I couldn't ask for a better main commentator other than him. So I do believe we did pretty well, and shout out to Chris, our stream team, basically team of 1, right? And he did really well, and I learned some stuff as far as streaming for the future as well. Hopefully I get to reach out to him if he's watching. Definitely hit me up, my brother. I will happily work with you to make my streams a little bit better in the future. Overall, both events was awesome. I really want to shout out Marcus Cantarsi as well as Dalen for letting me commentate, and hopefully they do more events in the future. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and if I met you, if I said hi, I can't say this enough. I'm glad I met you. I got to talk to a lot of people. I got to meet a lot of people. As always, I'm very excited to see that. I'm very thankful to see that as well. And yeah, so here's the breakdown for the top 16 as far as leaders go. We had 4 Reboot Gohan, 4 Surge Piccolo, 2 Universe 7 Surge Q, 2 Surge Q in general, like the red yellow one, 1 Cell Surge, 1 Black Boo, 1 Surge Broly, and 1 Clash of Fates Frieza. So 25% both for Reboot Gohan and as well as Surge Piccolo is pretty interesting. So one thing to really consider is that because of both events, the way that it was broken down is that there was a top 8 for Friday for Level Up, and then a top 8 for Saturday for that day as well. That goes into for that event as well. That goes into top 16 for Sunday. If there was only one event instead of 2 events that weekend, I think there would be a different top 16. I'm not taking away from Tournament Power. I'm not taking away from the regional as well, but I will almost certainly say that there's a different top 16 for leaders and as well as the players that are in it. I think the representation, if you take a look at the link that I'm going to put in the description below, with 80 Surge Piccolo leaders in the actual regional in total on Friday, and I think a good chunk of them on Saturday, that was the safe pick, either going through the successor route like Brandon did, that got top 32 in the Tournament Power, or the hand control variant that Sandy got, third place or second place in Tournament Power, and then went X1 in the regional, I believe, or X2, I think X2. But those are really good picks, and just overall really good picks, because not a lot of things get around that for each variant. So hand control pretty much beats a lot of different things, from Surge Q to Gohan to Surge Cell, I would say, as well as Surge Broly. Really any other deck. I think Reboot Gohan pretty much has a good matchup against a lot of different things that want to be kind of control based, kind of slow pace, that type of thing. That means Surge Piccolo, that means Cell Surge, that means Surge Broly, which I think Surge Broly can go aggro. I just don't think the variants that were being played had that in mind, basically. And Reboot Gohan is a pretty damn good matchup against Surge Q, which we had a lot of tricolored red, blue, yellow decks for Surge Q, and that was kind of like the pick of the day, basically, for both days. And then we had just the random. So Cell Surge was hating the Eggman, and he basically put that deck on the map. The thing I will say about that, after talking to him and just seeing the deck being played and play testing with him beforehand, like weeks beforehand, looking at the deck, that type of thing, right? It is a very hard deck to master, and I think if you put the time into the deck, if you understand the deck in all of his matchups, you will be successful with it. Otherwise, I don't think you should really pick up the deck. I don't think it's a deck that you can build, you look at the list and just play the next day, because it just simply is one of those decks that is hard to master. And as far as any of these other leaders like Surge Q, it did win Tournament Power, which you don't have the list for that just yet, but you can kind of understand from the finals match that I commentated that, Justin Rios did pilot that. And I think he is probably the only one in top 16 and top 32. I'm not sure top 64, but I'm pretty sure he was the only one for the U7 Surge Q as well. So I think it has a lot of tools and a lot of different answers for literally everything. I'm talking about literally everything when it comes to aggro, when it comes to hand control, when it comes to big boys and big monsters, right? So we have like Tyranny's Cost, we have Death Beam, we have removal for board removal, right? We have Thought Seize from the leader effect. We have Gogeta 7 into the leader effect that rips them another card and making sure that their next turn is non-optimized. We have the 3 from Drop or Warp, whether you pitch it for hand control and you get it right back, and you have literally all the tools that you need. And Invoker, making sure that it is a low cost option for you, so that way you don't have to worry about that. As soon as Evoker is established, or even if it isn't, you have the energy up and you have the extra cards that you need, they can't really be touched. And now you're playing into their SCR, now they're playing into their Dash Pack Goku, now you're playing into Gogeta, right? All these really good finishers that really don't have too many answers for, or anything that you actually interact with. That's why Surge Q or U7 is really good. And if you probably talked to Pat O'Neill, he did call it. I couldn't believe he did call that it took the event as the deck to take. But I also think that it does take a little bit of practice as far as that stuff goes too, for this deck in particular. Surge Goku is awesome. I don't think that's ever gonna go away. The Bibbidi Boo is our local Austin. He did so well the first day. I think he ended up X1, and then I think he ended up undefeated the second day. I really want to make sure. I'm sure someone will correct me on that, but he did end up second place after top 16 for the Level Up Regional, so that's awesome. I'm surprised that we didn't see too many Black Blue. I think we only have one in the Tournament Power in the top 32 cut. I'm not sure about top 64. I really want to say top 32 had one at least. And then Surge Broly was our boy Christian Lopez. Shout out to him. I think Surge Broly is kind of a weird spot in which, if you get the right matchups and you draw the right cards, I think Surge Broly is an incredible leader. But I think there's some support that is missing for him that could help his not so much awakening, but cards in hand that could help with his board presence, that could help as far as finishing the game, other than Kaioken and a couple other things. And then you have Class of Fates Frieza, which should be on the channel a little bit later. Shout out to Kevin, who got the top 16 in Vegas with the Golden Frieza. This is the same guy who piloted the red-blue version that played the mutables, that played a lot of other different things, and I'm very curious to see that too. Overall, pretty diverse. Obviously, like I said before, Surge Leaders is basically the thing. It is the flavor of the set. The reason why Cooler didn't do well is because it is such a fair deck, and I don't like playing broken decks, I guess, or at least really, really strong decks. And I think going forward, after seeing our team's performance, after seeing everything else, that is exactly what I'm going to be intending to do. Play a very, very strong deck, have something that has really good matchups, or at least something that kind of disrupts like Gohan, because you kind of play at Gohan's pace when you do end up going against it, right? And hopefully in April, that is when it is my time to shine, not just my team's. But we'll see. Let me know what you think about this top 16. Here's the deck itself by John. I will say, okay, other than the sideboard and a few cards in the main, that he took my deck. He took my deck. Basically, I sent him a list about a week before the event, or a week and a half before the event. He tested it out. He changed a few things, and then he added a sideboard, and he took it to Friday as well as Saturday, and ended up top 16 and then taking the whole event. So I am so proud of him. I'm so happy for him. I'm glad he's an addition and part of the team, not only because he won the event, but just because he is just an incredible player, and he's taught me a lot of different things since I even started the game. So really shout out to him. As far as the deck goes, obviously this is just all blue-green good stuff. Some of the techs that you might want to consider, or at least kind of like, why did you do that, is because of the Andrew 16 steadfast technique. There are some people that I've noticed that I was looking through other lists that were playing this card, in which I thought it was a card that was kind of being slept on. And I think on defense and as well as offense, this card is amazing, in which you drop an extra card, which you play 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11, 12, and then what? 16 extra cards, right? This in turn gives you 11k combo power. So I mean, that is the main reason, not only going for game, but also defending yourself and making sure to get these dead cards out of your hand. And that is such an important thing, not only for aggro, but just for surviving after you couldn't finish the game, which does happen. A couple of the techs are the Supreme Tech and Goku, which is a nice 20k body for that also acts as a blocker. You're going to be comboing this, and as well as any other dead card that you could be using, like Newfound Power after you awaken, which is the Cruel if you don't really need it, defending Father Paragus, etc., and as well as Awakening Talent Pan after you use her, probably just once, because it goes right back to hand, and now you have a rival fodder. Same thing for the Android 18 Full of Rage. I do believe that the answer, or the reason for this, is because you can remove a 4 or less. So during the Ravel step, as long as they don't have a counterplay that kills it, you could just go ahead and remove anything 4 or less. So that's really good. And as a 20k body. And then we have the Spirit of the Planet Goku. I originally had it in the original build, and I think I still kept it when I sent it to him. But this is really good because you're already triple striking, and if you get it down to the 3 range, and you still haven't ended the game, this guy for 2 energy, and which does have revive, in which you can get rid of any of your cards that you do play a good amount of blue-green here. You can go ahead and go for 25k triple striking, and that does again have revive. So it is a really good alternative. Alternative win con if you can't finish with the leader, as long as they don't have any kind of revival stuff that kills it. Of course, Belmont for extension and just playing out whatever you need to do. Now, the Stale Kamehameha is probably the best card, I'd say, as addition, and that's why it's at 4 now. The reason for that, or the reason why that is because now when you're going aggro, you're taking away some of their combo pieces, some of the stuff that they don't want out of their hand, and as well as one thing that can either combo with or a rival, and that kind of creates that disparity, as well as that RNG that leads you into a win. Now, if you swing with leader, of course you're going to be swinging, restanding, right? In the time that you go down to 3 to awaken, if you have nothing else to combo, this is going to be the card to combo with, which you're swinging and you restand, right? You pay 1 green, you go now to what, 25, which goes into 30 on the awakening, and you take 1 card out of their hand. You awaken, untap that energy that you have, that you paid with Cell, and then pay that same energy for Feet Kamehameha. Now you're looking at what, 30, 45 critical triple strike. Oh, actually 55 critical triple strike. That they now have one less card to combo with, or one less card to defend with. And now you also could snipe a card out of the hand that is a negate. And now on the defense, if they're trying to go in and try to kill you, or at least get you down to 1 life, because that's where Gohan hates to be, you can defend with this and as well as punish for that. So I think this is an incredible card to consider if you're playing blue-green. You have to watch out for the color as far as to negate card in their hand. But at any time, as long as you pay a green cost, or a green energy that is, you can get that 15k as far as the boost goes. So it's still pretty important. Of course, the 2 Champa over here, that any of these free threats, as in Toa, or reviving him, or Vegeta on their turn, or Arrival over here, you know, those are all really good targets if you get them down to 1, or actually 2, that is, after they spark and negate one of your triple striking attacks, etc., right? Or even for Belmont and then going into Champa. So that's really good. I would say the worst matchup for this is probably Jiren, and that's why Dark Power Mustang is super important. Then we have a couple counters. No Shocking Death Ball as far as the add or the addition, and that's probably because you just want to go ahead and you know, untap any energy and just keep it up for Bean, as well as the Sail Kamehameha in the combo step. And then we also have Sun Goten Flaming Justice. I'm not sure about this pick. I'm gonna have to ask Jonna for that, but I guess it's just 1 cost removal is not too bad. Crisis Crusher for any kind of threats early on. Pickle Arena for the U7 matchup. Vegeta the Cruel as far as another one just for counter plays. Bad Omen I think should be in the main. If you're not going to be playing the Goku, you should be playing Bad Omen. If you're pinging them down over and over again and playing the long game, Android 21 is going to be super clutch as soon as you get to 4 energy, especially if you're going to be playing the new Start 16, in which now you have a 15k attacker, you burn 1 life and remove something, and now you have a 25k attacker with your leader attack. So and also you can play Toa right after that, in which Belmont is now active. So there's a lot of different options for that on turn 4, which you're gonna want to go ahead and kill, or make sure to end the game as soon as possible. And then we have the Scientist Fu. There's no overwhelm in the deck. So let me know what you think about the deck itself. I'm very happy that I built it out for him. It's pretty similar to other decks. That's fine. I don't really care. I'm just happy that it's successful. So let me know what you think about the deck itself, the event, everything else. I am very excited for April, which is the next event I'll be at in California. There is no date or venue, but I know I'm going to be there. I'm going to give it my all and even try to take the event itself. You heard it here, folks. But let me know. Watch out for all the videos for the rest of the day, or rest of the week. I mean, I have a lot of deck profiles and a couple other deck discussion videos that I want to do. But I'm going to be taking kind of a short break, maybe half a week, about a week or so. I'm down with the fever, but subscribe if you're new, like, dislike, join the Discord, become a sponsor. It's only $1. I'll see you the next one. Later.